It's interesting. But okay, so guys, we are super excited to be talking with you about Master Duel, which is on so many different platforms. It'll be coming to mobile platforms here pretty soon. And the biggest thing that I think is a lot of us were very hyped about it, and we were hoping that it would live up to its expectations. And me personally, I do feel that it's living up to it. Obelisk Blue 13, what is your thinking?
Yeah, so off the bat, I'm gonna say I love the game. It's definitely living up to my expectations, honestly exceeding it in certain areas. For instance, I thought that the crafting system would be an absolute. I know we're gonna get on all these subjects, but like I thought the crafting system would be like a crapshoot, but it's actually very they use a 3-to-1 ratio. Like if you break down any three rarities of one card, you can buy
Yeah.
any card in the game. And I find that ratio is just about fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it was like a 1-to-1, I feel like people could just grind out like most of the good stuff in like a day. That wouldn't be fun. If it was like 2-to-1, it might take slightly longer, but 3-to-1 feels about right.
Yeah.
Um, but there's just so many things I want to talk about this game.
Oh,
I love it.
absolutely.
I play it like so often since I've played it so often since its release. So it's just, in my overall opinion, I think it's exceeded expectations.
I agree. Grunt, your thinking.
After all of Konami's past attempts, and look, I'm not asking people to think back to the old days, but Konami has tried and tried and tried ever since the game, got off its feet to try and offer an online platform, and it's kind of failed miserably time after time again, and now we actually have a form that's working quite well. I say that at the moment because as I'm not trying to be a pessimist, I'm just trying to be cautious. Knowing Konami, I am just hoping that things stay the way they are. I'm hoping that prices don't
Hmm.
increase, or we notice ratios on pull rates are starting to go down. Like I don't want subtle
Yeah.
changes to try and push purchasing.
Sure. Well, and I think the reception has been fantastic. The last that I checked, for the game, they have had, and this is just on Steam, over 40,000 downloads, which is just incredible. The Magic the Gathering game didn't have close to that with Hearthstone, and there's just so many games that's a card based game, and Yu-Gi-Oh right now with this game is smashing on those records. So I am just so excited that it's doing well, and I agree with what you guys are saying that let's leave this great formula alone because it looks really good. There are some tweaks that we'll get to, but overall, it's really good. So,
So
oh, go ahead.
I I did want to touch on something a couple things you mentioned there. Um, First of all, you mentioned how well it's doing and how popular
Oh
it is.
yeah,
I hope Konami looks at this and realizes that the reason why the reason why Duel Links was so successful wasn't necessarily because of the stupid format it has,
yeah,
but rather the ease of accessibility. And I hope they factor this into the next anime and really stop with
yes,
the trash speed duels. They're not good to watch.
yes,
They're it's a completely different like topic like when you're playing the game on like mobile because it's just a quick little game, but like no one wants to watch that. We prefer Master Duel, we prefer Master Rule.
yes,
So hopefully they see the absolute barnstorming numbers that Master Duel is doing, and
Hmm.
it encourages them to get off this Rush Duel anime
yeah,
hype train. I
yeah.
don't like it. I know a lot of people don't like it. Some people do. It's your prerogative, but I don't like it. And then something else you mentioned about like you hope that they don't tweak the ratios and stuff to make it like more
Difficult to get cards.
more
Yeah.
difficult. What I'm honestly hoping is that every season they implement new cards that get released, and every season they basically reset everything. So like you can reset the add more single player modes so we can
Oh
grind the
yeah,
gems again.
yeah.
Add more more missions so you can grind the gems again. So I hope it's not just like, oh, a reset of the ladder. I hope it's a
Yeah.
reset of like everything. And then I also hope like I feel like something that would help them sell more too is you really got to work on the price of the gems, man, because the gems just aren't good value. Like I was
Yeah.
looking at buying some,
No, they're not.
and like you can buy like the $30 gems and you get a pretty decent amount, like 4,500. But then like once you use, you can only
Wow.
do that 3 times, and then after that, it's like $80 is your
That's
best like
insane.
option,
There's
and
no
it's like
way.
it's only like oh, just slightly over 4,000, and it's like whoa, that's terrible, man. Like if you're gonna make it monetization, like if you're gonna add a monetization system, you really gotta adjust that
Oh
pricing
yeah.
ratio because the gems are slightly too expensive. With that being said, it's mellowed out. It's mellowed out a little bit and like evened out with the fact that the crafting system is as good as it is. So on one hand, you have to pay for a lot for gems if you actually want to buy it. On the other hand, you can get a lot of stuff relatively easily and relatively free, and you can craft. So there's the trade off. But
Yeah. Yeah. And
that's
so
what I had to say about that.
yeah, no, I agree. And let's go ahead and go through some of the stuff that the game offers because there's so much here, guys. So when you do start the game, if it's your first time, they're going to give you a deck to work with as you start to go through the missions. It really doesn't matter which one you pick. All of them have different things that you might like. Lots of people I know chose the Link deck because it was more recent. But then it's going to take you to the solo mode, and I'm a big fan of the solo mode. I think they did this so well. So it comes with the tutorial, then it goes through strategies, and you earn gems, which we've alluded to already, which is kind of the way that you purchase cards and other mechanics in the shops. Um, but then it starts to go through the lore of the different cards, or the different card archetypes. So, for example, you see the monarchs there. It goes through their backstory, the six elemental lords, the demise, and these cutscenes look absolutely gorgeous. So, if you look at the monarch one here, you can just see the art that they really put a lot of time into it. The way the text pops out, I think, is really good. And then they have you do things. So they've got the scenario which goes through the lore. Then you practice with the deck, kind of showing you how it works. You do some duels with it, and you can use that deck, like a version of it. And then you get the opportunity to use your own deck at times that you've built, or that you've customized, to see how it would do against that, and you earn rewards either way that you do that. And then you've got these gems at the top, which are different types. So this is like dark, this is light, wind. And what ends up happening is you get to do more stuff with this solo mode, where if you don't even want to play online, you can do this, and it's very entertaining for sure. And like I said, there's the loner deck that you can use, which is theirs. But notice there's the My Deck option that you can have. And then again, just the way the art looks is just so, so good.
The music too.
Oh, sorry,
Some
go
of the
ahead.
music. I
Oh,
was gonna say
yeah.
the music as well. Some of the music on these on the solo modes are absolutely crazy. Like the Monarchs music is like a really beautiful, like kind of symphonic, kind of
Uh
like a
huh.
symphony
I was
almost.
gonna bring that up. I love the Monarch music.
Yeah. Well, and it's just gorgeous. Everything about the time and dedication in here is fantastic. So,
And
yeah, go ahead.
it's sorry, I'm like really excited about
No,
this
no,
mode.
me too.
It's honestly one of my favorite modes. Like I think one of the most interesting things about Yu-Gi-Oh is like how there's each card tells like a subtle story,
Uh huh.
and for the first time, you finally have Konami sitting down and actually putting a story to it. And some of the stories like they've come up with or had in mind are just so amazing. Like for instance, the Gear Geo one you have right now, I never would have guessed that there's like an evil army of gears
Yeah.
and a good army of gears.
Yeah.
It's so adorable.
Yeah.
And stuff like that actually leads them to like they could make a new archetype of like evil gears because we don't. I don't. To my knowledge, we don't have them yet, and they can easily import that over to the actual game, and just like the lores are so amazing. I just started playing through the World Legacy lore yesterday, and I made it through the first chapter. And oh my god, the World Legacy lore is
Yeah,
out of this world.
yeah.
It's
It
an amazing mode that you can just
yes.
sit down and casually play.
Yes, and that's what I like. That's what people are always wanting. Grunt is they want to have that competitive side of Yu-Gi-Oh if they really do, but there's this huge casual side that's there too to the game. Do you feel like this mode does a great job catering to both audiences?
Yes, ranked is definitely better for competitive, and casuals can definitely enjoy solo. And I mean, that's the thing too. Even if you're casual and you're like, I don't want to play ranked, there's no harm in at least playing solo, just having a little fun since it is free to play.
Yeah, absolutely. Grunt, which one has been your favorite one so far for solo mode?
I know part of me wants to say World Legacy,
Uh
but the
huh.
issue with World Legacy, in my opinion, is that we already knew the story. The story was given to us beforehand, and they kind of just put it into the game. There wasn't anything new, and it's obvious that with how much they're catering to it, that if they add any more solo stories, they're going to keep adding to World
Mm-hmm.
Legacy. So World Legacy, I'm not really gonna. I'm, in my opinion, they don't count. If I have to say which one I actually enjoyed most, though, Monarchs probably had some of the best
Oh yeah.
music. Um, I can't stress that enough.
Yeah, the Monarch one was so good.
And then Shirin Nui was kind of nice, and Karakuri as well.
Uh huh.
Again, it's hard to say because most of it is just world building. It's not crazy lore like World Legacy. A lot of it is just, yeah, I like that story. I like that story, and I mean, even in Digital Bugs, I'm surprised what they did with Digital Bugs, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, they actually gave Digital Bugs more of a reason. I still feel bad though that it is such a poorly managed deck by
You know what
Konami.
though? In Duel Links, that deck rocks. There's been many pretty good, uh, pretty good players rise to the top, including KCS Games. He took that deck to the max. But how about you, Carlos? What is one of your favorite archetypes here that you've gone through in the solo mode?
So I'd have to agree with Grunt. The World Legacy lore is by far the best one because it's super in depth, and it's the one that actually has several chapters and spans more than one. So I think just out of the bat, like that one has to be the best just because of it. I also have to give a shout out to the Monarchs
Yeah,
music, like we said before, it's just amazing.
yeah.
Honestly, I love every single one of them, and I could like spend hours talking about every one. Honestly, but I'll just give like a quick roundup. I love the elemental. I like the elemental
Elemental
lords
Lords,
one
yeah. Mm-hmm.
because of because I enjoyed playing the archetype before, and
Yeah.
all the colors in the imagery was amazing. The Gem Knight one, same thing. It's a fan favorite archetype. Some of the archetypes, also Karakuri. It's it's one of my favorites. So I really enjoyed the Karakuri lore. Some of the archetypes that I actually weren't super familiar with that I really enjoyed. I enjoyed the Shiranui lore. I knew they tied into the Maikashi, and
Yeah.
I like how they were vaguely referencing them and even showing them, but they didn't actually outright say Maikashi, because that lends to their ability to go and add the Maikashi side of the story and tell that side as well
Yeah.
to kind of give a complete picture. And if you actually pay close attention to what they're doing, you can see that they're starting to tell parts of stories, but
Yes.
they're leaving the ends ambiguous so that they can add in more. So like the Gem Knights, they're just
Yes.
starting the dual terminal storyline. The World Legacy, they're just starting the World Legacy storylines.
Yeah.
And so I really love the way they're doing that. And if I was them, I would definitely add the Dogmatica lore,
Mm-hmm.
because that's like, to me, the three biggest lore series in Yu-Gi-Oh are the Dual Terminal, the World
Mm-hmm.
Legacy, and the Dogmatica, because they span several years each, and so I think if they add the Dogmatica lore, that'd be cool.
I
But just
agree.
to end to end my ranting, I just want to. I feel like there's one more single player campaign that I really want to give praise that I was missing. What are they?
Dino Mist.
The Dino Mist one was actually pretty cool. I enjoyed that one. Megan really liked reading the story about that one. The demise and the demise one was okay. The gameplay was a little bit stale. I didn't actually. The only one I don't really think I. Oh wait. So I didn't enjoy the gameplay for the demise one because I drink so often and I just didn't think it was fun.
Yeah.
The Megalith one was pretty awesome in terms of the imagery.
Yes, imagery looked great.
Yeah, I remember which one I wanted to say. The Gladiator Beast.
Yeah.
Love Gladiator Beast. And so it's awesome to finally kind of see like what they had in mind with the Gladiator Beast. Granted, it wasn't a super in-depth lore. It was just kind of setting up the world that they lived in. But seeing the Gladiator Beast and getting the structure deck as a reward was awesome. So
well, and
I think that's enough ranting about that.
Oh no, you're fine. My hope is what you had just said, that there's room to add to these. I would love to see new chapters added when they do this. And so for you guys to see what that looks like, so they've got the scenario here, and then it goes to the goal, and then typically there isn't too much past that, but I would love to see them add more. And so if they could do something like that, again, that's a great way to keep players coming back, especially if you're looking for a more casual experience and you're just a fan of the card game and the anime. You're going to come back for that. So well done, Konami. The solo mode is absolutely top notch. Now,
if they do expand something I did want to say, if they do expand it, I would like to see the end reward. The very last one you get is usually gems, but normally it's only 200. I would like to see that expanded. It just feels like for all the grinding you do, 200 is a little bit low. I do really enjoy the buddies. I wish every lore came with a buddy, a structure deck, and like the icon. Like that would be really cool. But definitely, if they add more chapters to the existing stories, they're gonna have to increase the rewards because 200 just is too low. Make it like 500, preferably make it 1,000 because I'd like the ability to just open 10 packs up after I complete the lore.
It's so interesting you bring that up. So, and we'll get to packs because I agree with you. The 10 pack is the way to go instead of individual. But I like how once you're done, you do get some sort of reward system. And for those of you who don't know, you get gems, and those gems can be used to buy packs. And then the packs have cards, and then what you can do then is, of course, add to those cards your card pool. And just like Carlos just mentioned, there's a structure deck that's included when you finish the solo modes, but you can add to them. But it takes lots of different gems to get the cards. And then those cards have ultra rares, secret rares, or super rares. I'm not sure which one they're. I think they're called supers. Then you have rares and normal monsters. And with that rarity, I do like it because there's a craft system. And this craft system, guys, just like Grunt alluded to at the beginning, I was scared to death of this. I was so worried that it was going to be a pay to win situation. It was going to be very difficult to get cards that you want, and that it would be such a grind fest that nobody would want to really play. And the dismantling card system, it works so well that when you get cards that you feel like you don't need, you can take them apart. So, for example, here, I've got an Honest up, and now notice it's an ultra rare, but I can dismantle it for 15 points. And then that can add to the total that you have up here on the screen. And then to get one and it doesn't matter what rarity, ultra rare, the super rare, and then rare, and then normal, to generate any card in the game is 30. And what I also like here is how it's got a how to obtain feature, so that if you wanted to go for packs, you can see that. And then it even alludes to sets where they'll be available in the future. So if you wanted to put together a very competent deck, I found for me personally, it was around 2 hours. Talking with KCS Games, he's got it down to an hour. That's how fast he is making a top tier deck, one that he wants to play in this game. He is doing it that quickly. Grunt, how fast is it taking you to get to the type of deck that you want?
Oh, building my Drytron deck didn't take me more than a day or two of collecting, and this was before I was even building it. I probably could have built it a lot sooner, and I was just kind of messing around with the mechanics a bit, crafting a few things here and there that I needed, like Ash Blossom and other stuff that I knew I'd want regardless of what deck I built. And once I settled on Drytron, it was pretty good. I wasn't 100% aware of how crafting could bring up certain packs or how
Mm-hmm.
certain packs
Yeah.
vary. So there were a few gems I probably burned at first, but that didn't take me long to learn how to fix.
Yeah. So what was your time spent? Would you say around 2 hours, less? Like, how long do you feel it took you to make the deck you wanted?
It took me a few days to fully build it. I only say that because it was the extra deck I had to round out. I have a lot of ultra rares in the extra deck,
Mm-hmm.
and I just could not pull some for the life of me. So it just ended up taking a little longer. But I was able to build the main part of my deck pretty quickly because a lot of it wasn't ultra rare.
Yes, yes. Carlos, how about you?
So when I first started, I was trying to build dinos. I built
Mm-hmm.
them pretty quickly, honestly, probably less than a couple hours. But within a few days, I had completely switched my deck. I completely went to I went to Shadal Dogmatic Invoked,
Oh,
and I had
wow.
all
Wow.
of that completed. And then a few days, even a few days after that, I switched decks again, and I went to Tri Brigade, and I have that fully completed.
Yeah.
Now I have a Drytron core I'm working on, and that
Mm-hmm.
one's pretty close to being done. So honestly, it doesn't take that long to really make a good deck, and not only that, it doesn't take that long to make several good decks. The
Yes.
unfortunate thing is that the rewards start to really like slow down,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
you would expect them to. Normally, you would want rewards to get better as you go further. In
Yeah.
this game, they get worse. So hopefully that really resets with the new season. Something else I wanted to mention about the crafting system real quick is when you craft a card, you actually have a chance to craft like three different rarities. So the normal rarity is
Oh,
just a
that's
regular
right. Yeah.
card. The second rarity is a card that is shiny, but the
Yes.
shine only comes and goes like every couple of seconds. And then the third card is I forgot what the card type's called, but it's absolutely beautiful. It kind of looks like a shatterfoiled rare with like
Yes.
a
Mm-hmm.
glossy finish on it. It's really awesome. Those are like your chase cards. And then if you break down a normal one, depends on how much you get. If you break down just a normal card, you get 10 dust of, that's what people have been calling them.
Yeah.
Dust, you get like 10 of
Usually
that.
get a
If you break
third of whatever the value would be to craft it. Yes.
Yeah, and or if you break down because if you break down a glossy one, you get 15, or if you break down a special rarity one, you get the
You get the
complete 30,
exact amount. Yeah, I love
which
those.
is awesome. I love those too. I've only managed to pull I pulled two. I pulled a Boros sword, but I broke that down because I already had a Boros sword, and then I pulled a Drytron the Drytron XCs. And I have currently have that in my extra deck. So you can not only just collect cards, you can also hunt down the higher rarities. And so what I found myself doing is once I had my Tri Brigade deck done, I broke down all my extra craft material, and I just spammed the craft for the normals and the rares. So I
Yeah,
have all the normals and all the rares in my Tri Brigade deck hollowed out. They're not like the
that's
maximum.
awesome. Oh my
They're not the
gosh.
max hollow because that's just those only appear every now and then. But they're the second form of hollow, which is
Yeah.
awesome. And so it's just another feature in the game that just makes it really fun and just really worth playing.
And I agree with this so much because we know how much Yu-Gi-Oh players love going for special rarities, and in this system, it's awesome if you can get them because if you ever do to try to sell them or trade them in for these points, you're going to have a way to get them. And I just again, they're really hitting all the right features when it comes to knowing their audience. So I am super impressed. Something that's been interesting is that you can also go for cards that have not been released yet, at least in packs that we would like to go into. So, for example, you can search for any card out there. I know I've seen a ton of people that have already made their playset of Max C just because it is so good in this format. And we will get to the ban list, guys. Don't worry, that is coming. Okay, so some other things here because we've been talking about packs. The shop is so well done. You have structure decks, and so far there's only been two. You've had Master of Pendulums, and then you've got the Xyz. And I prefer the Master of Pendulum. I think there's so much value there. Then you've got accessories where you can change the way your field looks when you're dueling. There's a little character that fights for you or that hops around for you. And then, of course, there's all these different packs that you can do. And me personally, I like to do it. Carlos was just saying, I feel it's best to buy 10 of a pack at a time if you can.
I
Grunt, have you
actually
noticed that? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, real quick, Carlos.
Yeah, sorry I've been like ranting a
No,
lot,
you're
but
okay.
I love this game. So I actually kind of have like a method I do when I'm making a new deck, and I strongly suggest doing this. So what I do is I go into the deck editor and I build like the complete deck because you can actually add cards you don't own yet. You obviously can't use the deck, but like you can see like the kind of deck you're working towards.
Yes.
So what I do is I build a complete deck. Then I go to an archetype I want to play. So I'm gonna use Drytron as an example. I go to an archetype I want to play. I find a Drytron super rare. I craft the Drytron super rare because what that does is it unlocks the pack you want
Yep.
to open, and so you can. And sometimes you'll even be lucky and you'll get a free open. And so
Yes.
you craft the super rare. You either get lucky and you get a free pull. It doesn't matter, but you get to see the pack that the Drytron cards or whatever archetype you want to play are in. You just have to make sure you craft a super rare or above. And then once you find the archetype pack you like, you pay 10,000 or you pay 1,000, you open the 10 packs, and most of the time you're going to get lucky, get an ultra rare from the
Yep.
archetype, so you don't actually have to break it down. And so strategically, if you know what deck you want, you can craft the supers and then just
Yeah,
buy from
exactly.
that set, which is awesome because
Yeah.
either you pull something you need and you basically don't have to craft it with your dust, or you pull an ultra rare you didn't need and you break it down. So it's literally a win-win. It's so fun and it doesn't feel like I'm wasting my time opening packs. Like
Yeah.
if it just had like the like the main pack where it has all 6,000 cards, I would feel like I'm wasting my time, you know? But
Absolutely.
because they have the secret pack, I love it and it's so engaging.
I agree. Grunt, have you found the same kind of situation yourself where you feel that buying the 10 packs at a time is best? And what is your other thinking of the accessories that you can get when it comes to dueling? What do you think about this? Do you think people are really enjoying that feature?
So 100% you want to do 10 packs at a time. And the reason why is if you're not doing 10 packs at a time, you're essentially doing, individual packs. You're not getting any guaranteed chances at foils, and that's just it. When you do 10 packs, you're guaranteed to get some foils, and even if you don't get an
Yep.
ultra rare, your next 10 is a guaranteed ultra, which is better than fishing for
Yes,
ultras one pack at a time.
absolutely. What about the accessories, Grunt? Do you like those features that they've got where you can customize the way your field looks on your side and then the character that you end up getting? What do you think about those things?
I think that customization's always good. I
Yeah.
honestly ended up picking up. One second. Okay. I honestly ended up picking up quite a few accessories. I ended up getting the little ash blossom made. I ended up getting some of those bundles that came because the bundles were a pretty good way to get some ultra rares for gems like ash blossoms. So I think the accessories are pretty nice. And again, if you want a ton of them, solo is probably the way to go with it.
Yeah, yeah, without a doubt.
Can I can I
Yeah,
jump in
go
and
right ahead.
talk
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit?
no, you're
Okay,
fine.
so I actually love the accessories. I think the little mates are actually really fun.
Uh
I
huh.
like how they don't just sit there; they're actually interactive. Like if you touch them, they do something. Um, I wish they weren't as expensive. No. The mates are actually priced fairly reasonably. The little icons that you can you buy to make your profile picture, I love those. Those are really reasonably priced at only 50 gems.
Yeah.
The sleeves are really reasonably priced as well, and they have some awesome choices at only 100 gems. So I love that. The only thing I think is a little bit expensive are the fields, because at 600 gems, that's like you have to grind a lot to get one of the
Yes,
fields.
you
But
do.
they do look super awesome, and I do love them.
Yeah.
And even if you don't want to buy it, you get a free field by playing the World Legacy lore.
Yes.
Also,
Yes.
Grunt touched on something I really wanted to discuss. The little bundles that they give you are just such a great deal.
Yes.
If you pay 750, you get 10 packs of the master pack, which
Yeah.
saves you money off the bat, because normally it would be 1,000. So you're
Yes.
saving 250 gems. On top of that, you get a free ultra rare, and the ultra rares they give you are freaking awesome. Like Lightning Storm
Oh,
is a
yes.
great going second card. Ash
Absolutely.
Blossom is a great hand trap, like probably one
Solemn
of the
Judgment.
best in the
Yep.
game. And
Judgment.
Solemn
Yep.
Judgment is a really good choice if you want to play like a floodgate deck. So love the bundles, and I really hope that they import more bundles and maybe do like maybe, because I feel like they're gonna introduce like new sets. Maybe add like maybe take one of the new cards and put that as a bundle. I'm not like saying like Destiny Hero Phoenix Enforcer. Although you could do that, like say they had like a Phoenix Enforcer bundle, like that'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, probably something like that, probably not, because as a one of is kind of lame. But like if they did something else like that in the future, it'd be awesome.
Yeah. I couldn't be more pleased with this game. It's just, guys, if you haven't tried it yet and you're on the fence, you've got to go ahead and give it a shot. It's really fun. Now, after you've built a deck and you want to try it out, there's ranked mode and there's casual. So, if you're doing rank, there's rookie, there's all these different leagues here. So, there's five total. You've got rookie, and then you have tiers within each one. So, notice there's only, you have two tiers, then five tiers for the rest of them. I know for me, guys, it did not take me very long to get to platinum. That actually happened pretty quickly. I wasn't stuck in any league too long. But one thing that concerns me, I was in gold league the other day, and I was facing someone who is still using one of the structure decks you get when you start the game. And I was shocked to see that that was my last match before entering platinum. So I feel like they do need to do some tweaking here to the leagues that people are in, because sometimes I completely dominate my opponent, and then other times it's a true grind fest because we've got similarly matched decks. Carlos, are you finding that there's such a huge variety within each of these different ranks?
At the beginning, yes, but I think that was just because the game had just started and
Mm-hmm.
everyone was trying to make their deck, and so some people just have the structure decks. I don't think that's going to be too big of a problem in the future, and so yeah, I think it'll be fine. I did notice as you get to closer to platinum one, like specifically as you cross the border from gold to platinum, you really get into the meta. Like in gold, I really was playing a meta deck like maybe once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
In platinum, it's every single duel is a meta deck. It's like
Oh
meta deck,
wow.
and
Okay.
at least for me it is. And
I haven't been in it
I've been
long. That's why I was
I've been
wondering. Okay.
I've been grinding plat one hard, and it's been a slugfest. Like I've been like I had a game against Sky Strikers, then I have a game against Tri Brigade, then I have a game against Thunder Dragon, then I have
Yeah.
a game against like it's a slugfest. And let me tell you, some of these games have been so interesting and have ended so like funny. I'll just share an experience with mine that I really found funny. Yesterday I was playing against what I presume was a female, because her like the username was Chloe.
Uh-huh.
So I was playing against a user whose name is Chloe. They're playing Tri Brigade. I'm also playing Zodiac Tri Brigade, right? So this person goes first. They activate their fractal. Yep. They go through the combo. They
Mm-hmm.
get They get the Cuirass in their hand. Then they activate the effect of Cuirass to special summon. I drop Max C. They special
Oh,
summon. I draw a card. They end their turn. I'm
yes.
laughing.
Yeah.
Right? So I activate Fire Formation Tanky. I search my fractals to
Oh,
literally the same
God.
exact play.
Yeah.
I run through my combo and I activate Cuirass.
Oh,
And
wow.
she drops Maxi on me the same exact spot point in the combo as I drop Maxi on her. But I changed after it resolved. I changed roll and Logbird, so I kept special summoning, and she
Nice.
couldn't draw because I
Oh,
drilled
that's
her.
so smart.
And so then I went full Tri Brigade combo. I ended on like Appaloosa and a Zodiac monster,
Uh-huh.
and then I attacked. I went to make Zeus, and she was like, "Nah, I'm good, bro. I'm scooping." It was hilarious. It was like super funny, and that's like a good indication of like what you can expect. Like if you know how
Yeah.
to play the game at a high level, it's super fun and
Yes,
it's
and that's what
awesome.
I'm finding too. Man, I've had some really, really great duels as I've climbed the tier rank ladder, and some of them have just been just absolutely fascinating, and sometimes have had unexpected outcomes based on what I saw they were playing, where I could tell later on in the duel, I'm like, oh, these guys actually know what they're doing. Like at first I didn't think they did, and all of a sudden everything comes together, and so and then, like you're saying, some funny things that you just don't anticipate. So definitely fun for sure. Grunt, have you seen that as well, though, where maybe there's a mismatching of, duelists, a bit, what I'm trying to think of playability in terms of like
Abilities.
understanding higher level Yu-Gi-Oh versus casual level?
Yeah, so I think it happens, especially in the lower tiers, but in all
Yeah.
fairness, that's not because of skill. The game isn't reading what deck you're taking in, the game is accounting for your ranking. So if there's somebody who's been stuck in bronze for a few days playing a bare bone structure deck, then yeah, there's a chance you run into them, or if they're in silver or gold or platinum, and eventually it's like if someone is using the structure deck, they'll eventually get enough good matches that they do, get to
Mm-hmm.
make it to the point where, they're in gold. I don't think I had any super big challenges until platinum. There was maybe one time, two times in gold or silver where I lost one or two games, and that wasn't even. And I hate to be that guy who's like, it only was because I bricked, but it was because
Oh
I
yeah.
bricked.
It's the
There,
truth,
there,
though. I get it.
like I know it sounds like an excuse, but there were literally games where it's like, yeah, triple copy of the same Drytron and two Evas. Yeah, no, that's a
Yep.
skill.
Yep. I totally
That's
get it. Yeah, I totally get it. But I do think it's a good system, but I would
hmm
like to see them try and tweak it a little bit. Especially if they did create an algorithm based on decks. That would be very interesting because as soon as I saw I'm facing a structure deck, I try to play more casually because I don't want that opponent to just feel crushed so quickly. But it'd be neat to see if they maybe do something like that. And that's the thing. This is just the first. We're not even a week or 2 weeks in. There's so much that they can do here to make it better, even though it's already very good. Now,
You're
oh,
a
sorry.
better
Go ahead.
man than me, Chrono.
You're a better man than me. I curb
Yeah, because
stomp every single person.
I was in bronze one with full power Dogmatica invoked. Like I did not like. I basically waited and grinded up until I had a complete deck to go to the rank ladder, and I felt so
Anytime.
bad because literally the first. Like until I got to gold, I just wasn't challenged, and I just kept slapping everyone. And I was like,
Hey,
"Wow, this game is fun."
hey,
Yeah,
Carlos, I had
yeah.
a quick question for you because this is a question that I've seen everyone bringing up. How many people let you go first after winning the coin toss?
It's like 50-50, honestly.
Really? That's
But once I got into Platinum One, it really stopped. But before Platinum One, it was pretty often.
well, yeah. Platinum
Oh wait,
is
wait, wait!
like,
I'm not in Platinum One I'm not in Platinum One currently. I'm in Platinum Three. Sorry, my bad.
oh,
Once I got
really?
into
Okay.
Platinum, well, yeah, because I haven't had time to grind all the way to 1.
Oh, I get it.
I
I'm the
I had
same
too
way.
much time. I had too much time this week, and I grinded all the way to 1 yesterday.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, but
But
yeah, go ahead, Grant.
I was just gonna say quickly, it's like, yeah, once I hit platinum, it's like you're with the big boys now. This is where they're actually playing hard. They know what they're doing. They're gonna make you go second. And there were some times where I'm like, okay, you win, you're the better guy. And other times I'm facing an Eldritch player who opens Vanities, Imperial Order,
Oh
and
yeah,
Skill
yeah, it's
Train,
sick. Yeah,
and I'm like, I beat you, and I'm so glad I squeaked by because, ugh.
yeah, because it's a grind for sure.
I just
Um,
want to mention something real quick
yeah.
about a game I played yesterday. I was so pissed off. I was playing against Thunder Dragon, and the guy went first, and he ended on Colossus with the Union carrier,
Yeah.
and it put the Buster lock, and I was so pissed off because I played triple Twin Twister, and I literally didn't open it. And then the next 3 games, I opened 3 copies of Twin Twister piece, and I
Oh,
was so pissed. And after
yeah,
that, I went into my deck. I made some changes. I took out one of the twins, and I added in some draws. And ever since then, I've been doing pretty well. But yeah, definitely once you get to platinum one, or platinum, you really have to optimize your deck.
yeah,
I
for sure.
there were maybe a few games where, and again, I say this every time when I bring up this particular card. Virtual World, in my opinion, is an okay deck. When you lose to Virtual World in Master Duel, you're not losing to Virtual World most of the time unless Shen Shen's Banishing ruins you. No. You're losing to a deck that can crap out VFD like it's on laxatives. That's literally all Virtual World is in Master Duel. I hate VFD. It's like people can shit on Herald all they want, but I'll say this: Herald can be kaiju'd.
Yeah.
It can be
Hmm.
incredibly hard for you to kaiju a VFD, especially if they have the setup for it or if they have something out. The point is, it was not fun. VFD Virtual World. I
Yeah.
honestly
Well,
hope they update the ban list and
I,
ban
I
VFD.
am I am thankful that I've looked at most of my duels and they've been pretty fun. I had one situation where I was playing my Monarch build and I went against basically the deck you were playing years ago, Carlos. The one where it brings out Borreload Savage Dragon, and you use Jet Synchron, and I mean, literally, he had the whole field set up. And I thought, yeah, I'm not going to be able to get through this. I had 2 ways to possibly power through, but he negated both ways, and then after that, I was out of options. But
If
that's
I knew
fine. Oh,
If
sorry.
I
Go
knew
ahead.
you could play Synchron Eldritch before I started playing, I would have probably built Synchron Eldritch, especially because I pulled
Yeah.
an Eldritch. But I'm just honestly surprised by some of the stuff that's unbanned in this game.
Oh, and I can't wait to get to that because, guys, that's going to be fun to
Yeah,
discuss. Now,
that's something else.
looking at the casual way you can do things, Konami has set up rooms, and I can't wait to start doing this for our tournaments if we can get
Hmm.
enough people that want to do it on this platform. So, the idea that we can all be in the same room and they've got tables set up. Oh gosh, is this going to make it nice and easy when you want to run a tournament? And it's very simple to set up. Most people should be able to find the rooms no problem. There's even a replay feature, which I'm excited about. So let's say, for example, I missed something, but it was an epic duel. I can watch it. Like there's just so many different options here that I'm very excited to be doing. So if you are looking for a casual way to do things, you can do it. The only thing that I think I have an issue with when it comes to dueling others, guys, is there a way to do a match? All I've seen is one single game. Have you
There's
guys,
not a
is
way
that
to do a
coming?
match. Nope. I hope it comes because that would add something to it. But honestly,
Yes.
I've kind of been enjoying just the best of ones. Like
Uh
it
huh.
really makes you think about deck building, and I've personally enjoyed that format.
Grunt, your thoughts?
Sorry, say that again. I was talking to someone.
Oh, no, you're fine. So, being able to have a match feature instead of just one single game, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I think match features are good. I mean, the issue with ranked is that because it's not really match based. The issue with it is that it's just a little too what's the word? Uh, Luxacky. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the issue is
Yeah.
that
How do you
side deck
open?
cards like Droll and Lockbird are just not really all they're cracked up to be at the moment, because there are ways where there's times where they'll see use and there's times when they won't. I have people asking me why I'm not playing Lancia in Drytron, and my answer to them is, well, not a lot of people are running anti-Drytron stuff. I'm not running into
Yeah.
that many DD
Yeah.
pros. Even the Tri-Brigades I come across, it's Lancia would have been a brick 9 times out of 10, and that's being generous. So
Yeah, and it is interesting. Now, I agree, Carlos. I am enjoying the one game. However, when I lose, there's times I'm thinking, oh man, if I just had my side deck, this would be a whole different duel. And so it is going to be interesting to see how they go forward with this because live events are coming soon. And when you go to your profile, there's a data feature that
I
talks
actually have a
about
theory
tournament
about.
wins. Yeah, and so
I
well,
actually.
I'll get to that in a second because my thinking is we're gonna have tournaments, and if they do a best one of, oh wow, that is gonna really make this different than other stuff that's out there. But what was your thinking, Carlos?
So, if you look at some of the early trailers for Master Duel, on one of the trailers, you could actually see that if you notice, there's like the right side of the screen's like blurred out. Apparently, there's like there was like there was like that blurred out part. It says legacy. So
Uh
what
huh.
I'm thinking is there might actually be a legacy mode coming, and I
Oh,
think the legacy tickets that we get like as a rewards. Those tickets genuinely suck because you get two cards per pack.
right.
If you pull an ultra, you can't break it down. Like they suck. So I'm thinking that they might honestly bring in a legacy mode where like you can like hopefully like filter by like your legacy cards, and you can like play basically basically you could play casual Yu-Gi-Oh. So I think that's
Yeah.
coming, and yeah, so
you
I
know
think
what?
it'll be really fun.
On that topic, you know what grinds my gears, Carlos? I pulled a Royal Finish roster Liger, and I can't demolish it for 30 ultra rare, even though it's not the one included in the structure deck. I can't demolish the darn thing, and I am just so ticked that that's one less
Oh,
thing.
that pisses me off when you pull stuff from the shop and you can't just demolish
Roster
it.
Liger's not even that good of a card.
It's like I should be able to dismantle every single thing that I buy,
Yes,
including
you
the legacy
should.
cards.
Oh, you guys still there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Carlos, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still there. I just didn't have anything to say.
Oh,
I
okay. For a
just,
minute, I thought I
yeah,
lost you.
I definitely wanna be able to break down everything.
Yes. Well, and
Honestly,
even with the
I'm
structure decks, you can't break down everything, which is interesting.
well. That one I understand because like
The
you don't want to like
value.
break down
Yep.
you don't want to just break down the ultras just to
Yeah.
you don't want to just buy the structures just to break down the ultras like because then
Yeah.
people would be doing that.
Well,
Like you want to actually have a deck that you can keep and you can play, especially if you break down the ultras, you later find out you want to play it and then you
yeah.
just don't have them anymore.
Yeah. And my son nailed it on the head. There's so much value if you could do that. You'd keep buying structure decks, break down the ultra to harvest for points, and yeah, there's just so much value because the price of the structure decks is only 500 gems. So yeah, really, really interesting for sure. So I like where we're at now. Replay data. This is just so nice. For those of you who watch my streams, I actually did an entire stream of just going through replays. They go very quickly, and so it takes out all that crazy time that you might be missing. So I do like that. And I noticed when I clicked on them that they would you didn't have to save them to rewatch them. That is until you go out of your session. So if you do want to keep your stuff, I learned the hard way. You are going to have to save it. They will go. The feature will go away to do that. So you want to make sure you save them if you want to watch them. However, what I also like, and guys, this is just so awesome, is that you can click on the name of the duel. It will bring up the profile of that player, and it will allow you to send a copy of their deck so that you can build it yourself if you liked what you faced. I just think this is genius.
Mhm.
It's- Grunt, your thoughts?
Well, the thing I like about it is that it took me maybe 5 minutes yesterday to finally figure out how to delete the replays that I didn't need
Want,
anymore because there was
yeah.
some I wanted. I wish there was a way I could like share them into the Discord or something because I have that Eldritch one from yesterday, and it's kind of like what Carlos said. That match was a roller coaster. I literally had a guy who
Yep.
opened all these floodgates, and I'm gonna say this right now: that Eldritch player choked like a chicken going to slaughter
Oh
because
no.
he pitched his Imperial Order when he probably shouldn't have. He literally pitched it, and as soon as he pitched it, I called by the grave the Eldritch that he was trying to summon. So he literally made the worst choice there. He pitched his emptiness and his drain, and and the funny thing with skill drain doesn't really stop Drytron. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's I guess my point is I could not save that match at first because I had a full library. And the cool thing is that while you're in a rank or a tier like Platinum, you can go back to all your Platinum
Yes.
matches. And if there was a replay where you're looking back and you're like, I should have saved that, or hey, I have room now, you can go back and save those replays. So you kind of got a mini library before your dedicated library. And
Yeah,
I
it
really,
but again that
it's
only
something.
lasts for a certain amount of time.
Hmm.
So if you exit out of the session, because I went to go save some replays or rewatch them today, and they were gone. So you definitely want to make sure that if you want them, find a way to get rid of your old replays and then save. I would like to see them allow it to go longer, but that's a minor gripe I feel for replays. However, I do like your thinking. It'd be really neat if there's an instant share button. I know that you can do this on the in Samurai Showdown for the PlayStation, where you instantly can send the match to YouTube right away. I would love if there's a way to do that. It'd just be a really neat way to get your stuff out there. But Carlos, have you looked at the replay system? Do you like it? Do you not?
Honestly, I didn't even know that was a thing until you guys brought it up, and
Oh,
I'm super excited to jump into the game and like mess around with that now.
yeah, it's awesome. I am so excited. Now, let's go ahead and talk about crossplay. And I love this idea of data transfer. It's a great idea. And for the players who it's worked for without any hiccups, it's wonderful. However, I want to mention that there are definite hiccups here. So, for those of you watching, if you want to play this game on another device, this is so important. When you go to log in, right here, you have to make sure that you go to this first. Do not go into the game. And then after that, it's going to bring up data transfer. And then that's where you would go ahead and put in your information. If for some reason an account gets started on the system that you're wanting to play and it's not your main one, here is Konami's current response. And it is not a good one. So let's go ahead and read what they've got here. Dear Konami customer, thank you for contacting Konami support. To proceed with, because they need to delete the account in order for what they think is a solution, but it's not really a solution. So take a look at this. The account deletion procedure will proceed on the premise that you will no longer play Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Master in the future. So my question is, why would you even want to delete the account then? When the Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel account is deleted, you will not be able to create a new account for Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel and will not be able to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel in your present platform account. The account signed in for either the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, Steam, or Nintendo Switch. So, for example, my player profile on the Switch is Chrono37. That profile will never be able to play Master Duel again if the account that was accidentally started ends up being deleted, according to this. That's not a solution. That just makes it even more frustrating that that profile would not be able to be used for the ability to play this game. So that is a definite problem. And so for me, what happened? Switches all look very similar, and so when my kids took their Switch, they didn't see my controllers on mine, so they thought it was theirs. They start the account, realize it's not theirs, and exit out. Too late. I couldn't do the data transfer after that. So to me, this is not the best solution. And I really think that Konami needs to address this quickly so that players that accidentally create accounts can get them fixed. So this is definitely something that needs to be changed in the future, at least according to me and others who I think have accidentally had something happen that was not what they were intending. Grunt, what's your thoughts on that?
I think that to give Konami one, and I've been saying this multiple times, and I hate saying it to you because I understand it's frustrating, but all fairness, it is such a specific scenario that I don't see how this would have come up in testing that often, and
Mm-hmm.
it it that's just it. Anytime something happens, there's usually a glitch for some odd scenario that people find, and it's
Right.
either good or bad. And unfortunately, here it was bad. I've had a few issues before with games and glitches that had to get patched out quickly, and I'm sure they'll get better at it as time goes on, especially as they expand the servers and networking. I'm sure as they add more features or add events, which they're kind of teasing. So I think it's not good. I'm not going to say it's amazing. I'm just saying that to give them, one little piece of leeway, in all fairness, it's just a very uncanny situation here,
Oh,
unfortunately.
sure. Absolutely. But it's interesting when I went to Twitter, I just typed in data transfer for the hashtag, and there were several duelists that had the same thing. Not their kids starting the account, but they themselves did, thinking they had to go to the button data transfer.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is like it, I wish there was a bigger prompt screen that like kind of tells you like, hey, bud, if you need to
Yes.
transfer, now's the time to do it.
Yes.
Not because it kind of like the loading screen is kind of just like yeah, it's just that like if you don't know, you need to press the little three buttons and then
Yes.
go
The
to
little
data
three
transfer. Like
buttons. Yes.
you're kind of screwed if you don't know
Yes.
that.
And that is really crappy that you haven't even gone through any of the game, and yet, oh gosh, now you're stuck. And so definitely something I think they should fix going forward, and I hope they figure out a solution. This to me is something that it's not a huge deal, but it has the potential of being one, especially when players start going to their phones and have this happen by accident. So definitely something I think they need to fix. Now, the last thing for the game review, and it'll be a perfect segue to what we're going to talk about after this, the ban list. Guys, I have been loving this ban list. I have had so much fun with Block Dragon back at 3. I have been having so much fun just seeing the different decks that I see people playing. So, for example, Astrograph Sorcerer being at 1. That that's good for pendulums. That's a really solid card that you can end up playing. Harpor at 1. I mean, there's just so many different great cards that I'm seeing being played, and I'm thinking, huh, did Konami purposefully delay our ban list so they would give us a chance to play something like this and see, hey, you know what? These wouldn't be so bad if we had these kind of changes. Carlos, your thoughts?
I don't think they're going to do it. I think it's just coincidence, circumstantial that they haven't released a ban list yet. With that being said, I do really like this ban list. I've enjoyed it for the most part. There are some things I kind of wish were changed. Like for instance,
Ban VFD.
yeah, VFD probably needs to be banned. If because if you're banning Dragoon, you probably have to ban VFD. And also you have to ban the Buster. You either have to ban Union Carry or you have to ban the Buster Whelp because that's super unhealthy for the game. Besides that, I think it's pretty fun.
Oh yeah, you either ban Whelp or you ban the carrier.
I like Grunt. He's like, they have True King of Ultra Calamity.
This is coming
Oh
from a
my
guy
gosh.
who played. This is coming from a guy who plays generators, or at least used to. VFD is just not like
Oh.
in generator. It was fair because generator did not do all this other stuff. Yes, it did more than make VFD, but it wasn't amazing. VW is like, well, we're pretty good. We just need a good end goal. Oh, I got it. Let's summon this giant, very fun dragon that completely stops the game.
Oh.
Like, nobody likes facing that guy at locals with the VFD. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just being honest.
Well, I have to say, I have been really surprised at how much Max C has changed everything. So, like Carlos was talking about earlier, you stop playing if you don't have a response. So, the lady he was facing didn't have a response, so she had to stop. Carlos, on the other hand, had a response and then was still able to keep going. Gosh, guys, I tell you, I have really enjoyed this OCG list. It's been fun. It's been different, and so far it hasn't made me be like, oh, I hate this. Even though I did run into a Max C player the other night, and he drew a hand trap that totally stopped me from doing anything else I wanted to do. So, and it stunk, but yet I still found a way to muddle through, and so it was just really interesting for sure. Um, so are you both? So what are you guys thinking? I know OCG is so tough because they get the cards before us, and so then they have different ways they look at their meta. But could we see a lot of changes with this upcoming list? What do you think, Grunt?
It depends. Here's the thing. The issue with Master Duel, well, I shouldn't say issue, but like air quotes, the quote unquote issue is that because it branches both OCG and TCG, I've come across many players from Korea, Japan. I've seen multiple players who definitely are not, they're not American, they're not European. So the point is, we need a ban list that kind of works with both, and the OCG list is pretty darn balanced. There's only a few key differences in the lists right now, and I've noticed it's kind of just a ban list behind on the OCG's current list, which is fine. That's why VFD isn't banned yet. So, I don't know. For all I know, we'll see a change to the list. My only concern is that if Konami does ban cards, like if they update the ban list over time, I want them to have a policy where if they ban a card like an ultra rare, that you can get the full crafting points back,
Oh,
so your
great
deck
point. Yeah.
doesn't leave you in the dust. That's my only concern right now is if they ban or if they hit something like I don't know, if they hit
Yeah.
Entis to 1 and I have my 2 extra Entis, it's like, well, shoot, I wasted all those crafting points, and I don't think Konami would have a program like that, but I think they should.
Yeah,
It's
great point. Great point. Carlos, your thoughts?
Specifically about the ban list,
Well,
or
that could this end up leading us to having lots of changes with our upcoming ban list based
I
on
think it will.
just these kind of things?
See, I don't think it will. The problem is, like you said, we us and the OCG, we have such a different card pool from us being behind. Like they would have to basically accelerate us ahead onto to where the TCG is, and then on top of that, they would have to then kind of unify the ban list. It's just so much work. And Konami of USA has super lazy.